What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hope you all had a great weekend. For me, it was nice and chill. It was relaxing. Saw the new Thunderbolts movie by Marvel. Ooh, it was actually good. They're actually going back to quality rather than just busting out movies. But there is a funny joke going around with them, too, because, they're titled the New Avengers, but everyone's memeing out there going, yeah, the New Avengers of Suicide Prevention, because each one of those characters is going through depression, sometimes suicidal thoughts. It was an interesting story to say the least, and how they went through their own journeys and everything. So it was a great movie. I enjoyed watching that on Saturday. Sunday went down to the beach with Baxter. We had a great time. It was nice, beautiful weather. Water was nice. So sometimes you just got to step away from the crypto markets and just touch some grass, touch the beach, touch the ocean, just get your mind off. It can't be 100% crypto all the time, but we can have our eyes set on it. So just always find some time just to step away, take a breather, relax. Just come on back on the following week to go over the news, what happened during the weekend. So yeah, as the title and the thumbnail show, it's like, what did Warren Buffett say? Because he is leaving by the end of the year. So he is going to be stepping down and having a new person in charge, Greg Abel, and his new challenge is to lead Berkshire into a new era without the Buffett touch. And I'm not going to go over this article, but is he crypto friendly? It doesn't look like it. Berkshire Hathaway's incoming CEO, Greg Abel, hates Bitcoin just as much as his predecessor, Warren. So it looks like we're not going to get much change with this difference going on. But just in a brief for him, Greg Abel hasn't made any public statements about Bitcoin, but his actions show he's just as anti-crypto as Warren Buffett. Abel is just taking over Berkshire Hathaway with nearly $350 billion in cash, but no interest in investing in crypto. Shareholders and analysts say that Abel is focused on traditional industries like energy and utilities, not just digital assets. But if he understood, it would be more like Bitcoin is energy. It's like the strongest form, easiest form to move energy around, because it takes energy to create it. It's not just being made out of nothing. So maybe he will eventually get the picture. He's new. We'll see what he does. But Warren Buffett, he's never liked it beforehand. He's always called it rat coin, or Bitcoin equals rat poison, or rat poison squared. But he accidentally, back in the Omaha conference, I guess he actually slipped up and presented a case for why Bitcoin is needed. So let's go through this article to learn a little bit more about what he said. So Warren Buffett accidentally makes the case for Bitcoin. Now here's the catch. So let's find out. So Warren Buffett's farewell as chief executive officer of Berkshire Hathaway ended with a paradox that will reverberate through Bitcoin markets for months. So moments after the 94-year-old Oracle of Omaha confirmed the vice chairman, Greg Abel, will assume the top job when 2025 draws to a close, the world's most celebrated value investor delivered a sweeping warning about the long-term corrosion of government money in an argument that, stripped of its author's intent, reads like precisely of what the Bitcoin thesis is. So Buffett still doesn't get Bitcoin. From the stage in Omaha's CHI Health Center, Buffett told shareholders that the greatest threat to capital is not a bear market or a recession, but the tendency of a government to want to debase its currency over time. Now, if you got people that control the currency, you can issue a paper money, and you will, he said, adding that the natural course of government is to make the currency worth less over time, and that's got important consequences. He concluded that we wouldn't want to be owning anything that we thought was a currency that was really just going to hell. Now, those sentences delivered without reference to Bitcoin echoed through the crypto X community within seconds. Now, we got pseudonymous Bitcoin commentator Carl Menger interpreted them as an inadvertent endorsement of a non-sovereign alternative, writing that Buffett suggests it might be wise to own a lot of other currencies besides the US dollar, almost like a decentralized non-sovereign currency that could fix this. Menger then jabbed the non-Genarian still can't grasp the value of Bitcoin and rather stacks of other fiat shitcoins out there. Now, MicroStrategy executive chairman Michael Saylor, who in 2023 said that Bitcoin is the answer to the question that mystifies Warren Buffett, that renewed the critics on Saturday, calling Berkshire the 20th century Bitcoin. The contract is stark, while Berkshire's cash pile has swollen to $347.7 billion at the end of quarter one. That's up from $334.2 billion 3 months earlier. Saylor has been converting every spare corporate dollar into Bitcoin, and I believe he did just purchase another 1,200, 2,000 Bitcoin. Didn't cover that article, but yeah, he's still buying it. But Buffett's decision to sit on a record hold signals that, in his view, equity valuations remain unappetizing for Bitcoin advocates. If further proof that fiat liquidity is best redeployed into hard digital assets rather than idling in treasuries and T-bills. So he's saying that it's like, you want to put your money in assets, like what we and I have been saying all the time. Put it into Bitcoin, put it into precious metals, put it into land, put it into water, put it into oil, put it into farming and food. It's like you want to put it somewhere else other than T-bills and treasuries, that's for sure. But yet the catch is, though, that Buffett's philosophical alignment with monetary debasement, Hawks does not alter his personal verdict on Bitcoin. He still regards the asset with unalloyed contempt. In 2018, he famously called it probably rat poison squared. And in 2020, he told CNBC that cryptocurrencies have no value and they don't produce anything. And at the 2022 shareholder meeting, he declared he would not buy the entire Bitcoin supply for $25, but it isn't going to do anything. Saturday's stagecraft did nothing to soften those views. The man who transformed a floundering textile mill into a $1.6 trillion conglomerate remains committed to productive enterprises over digital scarce commodities. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that Abel is going to just continue on with Warren's decision on just going into industries and just all that stuff out there. But again, maybe down the road, he will make up his mind because a lot of changes are happening and going on. But again, maybe these people are going to be getting a little bit more educated and then pulling back their recent decisions on how they view Bitcoin. Because there's a lot of, like, right now, like after this article, like I think the Arizona bill for a strategic Bitcoin reserve did not go through, but now people like the Bitcoiners are definitely going, we need more people in charge that actually understand Bitcoin and get it, because they're just still pushing off on their old ideologies. So let's go through this article just talking about what people were saying to the governor of Arizona. So Bitcoiners blast Arizona's governor's ignorance after the Bitcoin veto. So Arizona State Senator and Bitcoin advocate Wendy Rogers said that Bitcoin doesn't need Arizona, but Arizona needs Bitcoin. So Bitcoiners and United States government officials have criticized Arizona's governor, Katie Hobbs' decision to veto a bill that would have allowed the state to hold Bitcoin as part of its official reserves. Now, this will age poorly, Casa co-founder and cypherpunk Jameson Lopp said in a May 3rd X post. Bitcoin's entrepreneur Anthony Pompliano said that imagine the ignorance of a politician to believe they can make investment decisions. Now, this is a call for government officials who understand Bitcoin is the future. So if she can't outperform Bitcoin, she must buy it, Pompliano said. Crypto lawyer Andrew Gordon said, we need more elected officials who understand that Bitcoin and crypto are the future. Here is that tweet from Julian Ferrer. So Governor Hobbs vetoed Arizona's Bitcoin reserve bill because it is too untested for the state's retirement system. In fact, Arizona's pension funds are only 76% funded, ranking 36 in the nation. Perhaps the tested investment strategies aren't working. It kind of does make sense. Now, Wendy Rogers, who co-sponsored the bill with State Representative Jeff Wenninger, also voiced her disappointment. Politicians don't understand that Bitcoin doesn't need Arizona. Arizona needs Bitcoin, said Rogers. Now, on May 2nd, Hobbs vetoed the Arizona Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act, which would have permitted Arizona to invest seized funds into Bitcoin and create a reserve managed by state officials. Now, today, I vetoed the Senate Bill 1025, the Arizona State Retirement System, which is one of the strongest in the nation because it makes sound and informed investments, Hobbs said. Now, here is a tweet from Dr. Dinesh. Katie Hobbs vetoes the Bitcoin strategic bill in Arizona, but she called Bitcoin an untested investment. I bet you she doesn't get reelected. So this is what Bitcoiners are saying out there. Like, just, yeah, Katie Hobbs, like, she might not be elected if Bitcoiners have any say to do with it. But Rogers said that she would refile the bill during her next session. And Rogers also pointed out that Arizona's state retirement system already holds stock of Michael Saylor's strategy, which is basically a leveraged Bitcoin ETF. Arizona's strategic Bitcoin reserve bill will be back And hodl, Rogers said, the stock price of Strategy rose 32% in April, the most significant monthly gain since November 2024. However, well-known crypto skeptic Peter Schiff sided with Hobbes. The government should not be making decisions to use public funds to speculate in on cryptocurrency, Schiff said. Now, Arizona would have become the first U.S. state to establish a Bitcoin strategic reserve if it had passed. Now, Arizona joined several other U.S. states where similar efforts have failed, like with proposals in Oklahoma, Montana, South Dakota, and Wyoming have stalled or been withdrawn recently out there. So they just got to add it to the list. But this just is showcasing the importance, guys. Like when we're seeing like the bills getting put for a strategic Bitcoin reserve and your state is getting pushed to the Senate's house for them to look at it, or the senator's place, write to your congressman, write to your government, your local authorities, let them know that you want this bill to be have. And so like you guys got to put some work out there, show them that this is what their city and their state actually does want. So this is how we can help them push it through. So yeah, keep sending them phone calls, send them emails, send them letters, just let them know that you want the state to start having a Bitcoin reserve. And that's how we as regular individuals can help this out and progress it further. So, and all we can do now is just keep educating these people in charge, and hopefully they do get that Bitcoin is the future. We got a problem. Our money is debased. Warren Buffett even said that. It's like it's going down. They're going to control it by debasing it, to print more currencies. And he just says you don't want to hold your money in paper money. What else do they call that? It was trade money, papers. Gosh, I can't remember. My mind slipped. It's Monday. But no, it's like you want your assets other than money, basically. That's what he was saying there. So guys, talk to your local council, governor, just let them know, hey, if this Bitcoin bill comes to your table, sign it. Just let them know. Just let them know that. So that is our Arizona news on how it didn't pass, but it may be coming back around, as she said, in her next cycle. But some Bitcoiners don't think she will get reelected. But let's move on to our next article, talking about this free Bitcoin faucet. Like, what? Free Bitcoin? Well, back in 2010, there was a website out there that would distribute like 5 Bitcoin per user for free back in the day. Now, I guarantee they're not going to be doing 5 Bitcoin, maybe 5 Satoshis. But yeah, back in the day when you couldn't be mining or there was no hard platform to like trade and purchase Bitcoin from, they have this faucets out there where you can click on it, boom, and you got some Bitcoin, and it helped people get started with their crypto journey out there. But it looks like it's about to come back. So let's learn a little bit more about this article. So the original faucet that distributed 5 Bitcoin per user for free, which is now worth nearly $500,000 per transfer, may be coming back. So here's what we know. Now, a relic of the Bitcoin's earliest days is making a comeback, potentially reviving a tradition that once handed out Bitcoin for free to anyone who could solve a simple CAPTCHA. Now, Charlie Shrem, an early Bitcoin developer and entrepreneur, teased the relaunch of the Bitcoin faucet earlier on Monday, posting a link to the page that mimicked the one built by Gavin Anderson in 2010. Now, the faucet famously distributed 5 Bitcoin per user to their Bitcoin wallets for free back when the token was worth less than a cent. Each of those transfers is now worth nearly $500,000 at the current price. And the website is not yet live with rewards and holds 0 Bitcoin as of earlier US hours on Monday. But is this what it looked like? The 21million.com was that the site for it? Where Bitcoin, if you just solve that simple CAPTCHA, you'd receive 5 Bitcoin back in the day. So who knows, if it comes back, maybe they will release, like, maybe you'll get a couple Satoshis. But the original faucet was designed to help onboard new users to the Bitcoin network at a time when buying or minting Bitcoin was cumbersome and often required technical know-how. Now, at the time, Andreessen funded the faucet with 1,100 Bitcoin and saw it as a way to grow the network organically. The idea worked. Thousands of early users got their first exposure to Bitcoin through the faucet, which in hindsight distributed small fortunes for free. Now, by the time the faucet shut down, its payouts had dwindled to fractions of a Bitcoin, but its cultural impact remained legendary, especially as BTC prices surged over the next decade. So Yeah, so it could be coming back now. This is saying by Charlie Schwem, just saying like, yeah, it could be coming back now, but it won't be giving like a full Bitcoin, because even when this platform did end, it was already giving fractions of a coin out there. So if it does come back, who knows? Like, it could be a way to organically just get more Bitcoin investors there, because everyone's looking for a nice way to just get a little bit more Satoshis here and there. Just never fall for those scams that say, oh, send us 1 Bitcoin, we'll send you 2 or 3 back. No scam, don't fall. And it comes up, and those always come up in like a YouTube ad or somehow some video where they may show like an Elon Musk interview, a Michael Saylor interview, or something out there, and right next to it will be a QR code. Hey, send us Bitcoin here. Don't do that, guys. There is no other free way to get Bitcoin out there. Just that you gotta earn it, you gotta mine it. There are some prepaid debit cards out there, like the Fold app, where you can just spend your normal money and earn Bitcoin back. It's kind of like a credit card where you earn cash back, but instead you earn BTC back. But there is no just free giveaway of crypto. So if they do this, it may be like, yeah, a couple Satoshis just for the purpose of onboarding new users organically. But that's what could be coming back down. Thought that was an interesting news article to share with you. Now let's play a quick little commercial for you, and then we'll be back with some more news.
Attention visionaries and pioneers, the future of wealth is here, and it's spelled Bitcoin, Bitcoin. Introducing the exclusive Loans for Bitcoin program at the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club, where your good credit unlocks 0% interest loans for up to 2 years, or term loans up to $250,000 spread over 7 to 12 years. Why wait? Use this capital to acquire the world's fastest appreciating asset, Bitcoin. With prices hovering around 94,000 and projections aiming much higher by the year's end, the time to act is now. Leverage isn't just for Wall Street anymore. Arbitrage the low cost of your loan against Bitcoin's explosive growth. It's smart finance for the modern investor. And privacy matters. Our no KYC Bitcoin purchase program ensures you buy and self-custody your assets in your own wallet. Your keys, your Bitcoin, your future. And as the world shifts to digital currencies, be ahead of the curve. Front-run corporations, governments, in this greatest financial revolution of our times. I'm Jay Bose, CEO of Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club. Call or text us today at 941-413-6920 and get started on that loan application. Secure your legacy. You will thank yourself tomorrow.
And we are back. And yes, guys, like, this is the time to get Bitcoin. So if you don't have any like spare cash right now, but you do want to start acquiring it, we can help you out that with our loans program. We here through the club. You do got to be a member of the Bitcoin Ben Crypto Club to get the loan. And so if you want to get a loan out, buy some Bitcoin. We know Bitcoin's going to go up. When it goes up, you just pay off the loan, and now you still have that little bit of extra Bitcoin right there. So it's a way to help you acquire some more Bitcoin. And then we have other programs out there as well, where now you can use that Bitcoin to earn you more profit, because it's all about cash flow there. Because it's nice to hodl Bitcoin, and we see that price go up, but we also want to know other ways too to how can we get more. So those are just some of the programs we have to offer you. So give the club a call, or give this number a call for even more information about our programs. 941-413-6920. Now let's move back on into the crypto news. What's going on? Now let's go over some altcoin news, where Solana devs fix a bug that allowed unlimited minting for certain tokens. So that's a problem. So let's see what this bug actually was. So Solana devs and validators have worked together to patch up a critical security issue, but this speedy fix didn't come without criticism over the network centralization. So the Solana Foundation has confirmed that a 0-day vulnerability that allows an attacker to potentially mint certain tokens and even withdraw those tokens from user accounts has been fixed. A May 3rd post-mortem from the Solana Foundation said that the security vulnerability first discovered on April 16th that could have allowed an attacker to forge an invalid proof affecting Solana's privacy-enabling Token 22 confidential tokens. Now, there's no known exploit of the vulnerability, and Solana validators have since adopted the patch version, the Foundation said. Now, Solana's zero-day security bug affected token 22 confidential tokens. So let's learn a little bit more about these specific types of tokens out there. The Solana Foundation said that the security vulnerability concerned two programs, Token 2022 and ZKL Gamal Proof. So those two tokens specifically. Now, Token 2022 handles the main application logic for token mints and accounts why ZKL Gamal Proofs verifies the correctness of zero-knowledge proofs to show accurate account balances. Now, the foundation said certain algebraic components were omitted from the hash in the Fiat-Shamir transformation transcript generation, which specifies how provers create public randomness using a cryptographic hash function. Now, the flaw could have enabled an attacker to exploit the unhashed components by crafting a forged proof that passes verification to mint and steal Token 2022 confidential tokens. Now, Token 22 confidential tokens, or extension tokens, leverage zero-knowledge proofs for private transfers and aim to enable advanced token functionality. Now, the vulnerability was first identified on April 16th, and 2 patches were deployed to resolve the issue. A supermajority of Solana validators adopted the patches around 2 days later, and Solana development firms Anza, Firedancer, and Jido were the main parties behind the security patch, while Asymmetric Research, Neodyme, and OtterSec also assisted in it. Now, the foundation confirmed that all funds remain safe. Despite the fix, Solana Foundation's private handling of the issue with Solana validators raised centralization concerns from some of the crypto community. Now, this included a Curve Financial contributor who raised concerns about the foundation's close relationship with Solana validators. Now, why does someone have a list of all validators and their contact details? What else are they talking about in those comms channels? They asked fearing that they could collude to potentially censor transactions or roll back the chain. Now, Solana Labs CEO Anatoly Lakovenko didn't directly deny the claims, but said that members of the Ethereum community could also coordinate to resolve a similar security bug. He said that the issue that everything was done privately. Why does someone have a list of the validators and their contract details? What else are they talking about on the comms channels? Now that regulators, countries, malicious actors know these channels exist, they are centralized points of failure in a decentralized system. They can privately collude to censor transactions, roll back the chain, or anything else. And then Tully said, it's the same set for Ethereum operators, bro. Trent can also ask them to patch their ETH clients as well. Now, more than 70% of Ethereum network validators are also controlled by crypto exchanges or staking operators such as Lido, Lakovenko said in his arguing point. It's the same people to get to 70% of Ethereum. All the Lido validators, Chorus One, peer-to-peer, etc. Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken. If GETH needs to push a patch, I'll be happy to coordinate for them. Now, in August, the Solana Foundation and network validators resolved another critical vulnerability behind the scenes. At the time, the foundation executed Director Dan Albert and said that the ability to coordinate a patch doesn't mean that Solana is centralized. Now, Ethereum wouldn't fall for the same issue, the community member says. Now, Ethereum's community member, Ryan Burkham, slammed claims that Ethereum is subject to the same centralization issue as Solana, pointing out that Ethereum has sufficient client diversity. The most popular Ethereum client, Geth, has at most 41% market share on Ethereum, Berkman said, while noting that Solana has just one production-ready client, Agave. Now, this means zero-day bugs in the single SOL client are de facto protocol bugs. Change the single client program, change the protocol itself, the client is the protocol. Meanwhile, Solana is to roll out a new client, Firedancer, in the next few months, which is expected to improve the network's resilience and uptime. However, Beckham said that Solana would need 3 clients to be sufficiently decentralized at the client level. So, So that's what's going on with Solana right now. They're still competing with Ethereum, but they fixed that bug out there. But that is a centralization problem out there. When you just got like one clientele validator out there, and that is pretty centralized single point entity. And yeah, so hopefully that does get solved. Again, like Solana still Maya's is centralized right now. Again, if they fix that problem too, instead of just having Firedancer as the only clientele. Again, I agree with who was that said that? It was Saint Llama Rant, no Toby, no. Who was the one who exactly said this? So like Fire next to networks. However, Berkham said it's Solana. So this is from Berkman. Like he said, yeah, it's like you need at least 3 to be sufficiently a decentralized level. So yeah, Solana, get on work, find that two more people to be that, and I won't have anything else to say of claiming to be you guys be centralized or not. But Solana and ETH are definitely big competitors this year. Solana took a lot of the market valuation from ETH, because usually in the past we'd see ETH get like a nice little bump and rise in action. People are minting coins, but this cycle around, people were minting on Solana, playing with that. So we'll see who ends up being more dominant now in the future, but we just gotta wait and see. So that's our Solana news. Now let's move on to some Cardano news. That's right, we got a bunch of altcoins for you. So Cardano joins Linux Foundation's Confidential Computing Consortium. So nice, let's hear about this partnership. So Cardano has become the newest member of the Linux Foundation's Confidential Computing Consortium, or the CCC, a move that positions the open source blockchain alongside heavyweights such as Microsoft and Amazon in the fast-growing market for hardware-based data protection standards. Now, the announcement emerged during an hour-long midnight booth fireside chat at Consensus, where Charles Hoskinson, Chief Executive of Input Output, and Iran Barak, Chief Executive Officer of the Midnight Development Company, sketched out how confidential computing will anchor Cardano's privacy-first sidechain Midnight. Now, we just recently joined the Confidential Computing Consortium, with the Linux Foundation, and we're right there with Microsoft and Amazon with Nitro. They're talking about confidential computing and trusted hardware enclaves with GPU for outsourcing AI data. Hoskinson told the audience, and the CCC sets cross-industry specifications for enclave-based security. Its membership signals that Cardano intends to align with Midnight zero-knowledge rollups and decentralized identifier stack with emerging hardware standards, rather than rely solely on purely cryptographic shields. So Midnight basically clicks into all of those different things, and it gives you the ability to reason and think about, how do I share, or who do I share with? What do I own? What do they own? What's the semantical value of the data that I'm sculpting? And then ultimately, what's the marketplace look like? And how do I become an economic agent in that marketplace? And I actually get paid for sharing these things, as opposed to all that goes to Magnificent Seven, and they just tell me what I get, Hoskinson added. Now, Cardano's taking the next steps in secure blockchain. Hoskinson traced Midnight's origin to a bar in Tel Aviv during an encrypted 2018, describing how a late-night debate about zero-knowledge proofs eventually matured into a sidechain that combines a programmable Stark-based execution engine, the Kachina, a dual-token economic model, Night for governance and Dust for the metered capacity. A selective disclosure controls rooted in W3C DIDs. Yet, according to Barak, technological ingenuity alone is not enough. Enterprise adoption hinges on hardware-rooted trust, confidential computing, he said, and supplies that final layer. Now, when you think about protecting your data, you really need to think about two pieces: protecting that data itself and protecting the metadata, Barak explained. Now, Midnight hopes to be the fabric that enables AI to access personal, private data in the right way that doesn't violate our rights. Now, by joining the CCC, Cardano gains a seat at the table where those fabric threads are woven into chipset specifications, enclave attestation protocols, and open source reference code. Much of the session focused on Midnight's two-asset design, which separates volatility, value-accruing governance from a stable, non-speculative capacity unit. And Hoskinson argued that splitting consensus and separatism from fee predictability sidesteps the tension regulators see in a fully shielded currency such as Monero. You get your cake and eat it too, he said. Developers can pay in Bitcoin and Ether or Solana through a capacity exchange, and the end user doesn't notice that they're using a different system. Now, confidential computing extends that logic to the hardware layer. Enclave sealed execution protects wallets keys, zero-knowledge surrogates, and DIDs registers from side channels attacks, and while at the same time furnishing auditors with cryptographic attestations that regulatory conditions embedded in smart contract templates are being met. Now, selective disclosure is an absolute necessity, Hoskinson told a questioner who raised compliance fears. You bake in the capacity to put disclosures at the smart contract level and then let exchanges decide their suitability guidelines on any case-by-case basis. Now, Cardano's CCC membership arrived at the conversation that turned to tokenized real-world assets, a market Hoskinson sized at a $10+ trillion today, and $100 trillion once small-cap and frontier market issuers join. Now, Midnight, he maintained, must interoperate with both legacy venues such as the New York Stock Exchange and on-chain liquidity pools. Hardware verified privacy makes that bridge incredible. So you want broker-dealers, compliance circuits, breakers, but you also want blockchain stuff. Having infrastructures like Midnight is the only way to really do that, he said. Now, Barack reported that more than 2,000 early builders on Midnight's testnet, ranging from dark pool protocols and medical record pilots to carbon credit tracing for jet engines. Now, because code and state are encrypted, IO's own developers' relationships teams cannot inspect what is being deployed. Teams volunteer information only in opt-in calls, and I think if we finally bring blockchain technology that encompasses the privacy elements and that businesses need, the innovation is just unbelievable, Barack remarked. So this is actually looking like just some more news than just updates we're getting with the Midnight release on the Cardano's blockchain. And so like with this partnership with the Confidential Computing Consortium, it looks like Cardano might be a nice coin for this cycle. Like we always knew it was going to be one of those good ones because it's like the top 10 like blue chips ones. If you're going for like security levels, okay, what's my risk to reward? Well, Bitcoin's definitely your safest bet. Beneath that, you'd get like Ethereum, probably Solana and Cardano. Well, first it was just Ethereum, and then beneath that would be Cardano, Solana, what is some other ones, Sui, just like those ones. And then beneath that, just put all your other altcoins out there, memes, AI, gaming tokens. It's like the risk tolerance. So it just goes down. So higher reward, higher the risk that you'll be taking on. But Cardano, I believe it's putting them in that second tier level with all this good news they got going on, solving actually problems of the blockchain and that what businesses need. So I'm going to go Cardano. Can't wait to see this Midnight release. Now let's move on to some NFT crypto news. I think this might have to pertain to NFTs, but over the weekend we saw that Apple eases its NFT and crypto rules for iOS apps. So let's hear a little bit more about this. So following antitrust ruling, Apple has loosened its restrictions on developers' ability to offer iPhone and iPad apps directing users to external purchase methods, including NFTs. So this was a rule that just changed, so pretty nice. Now, Fortnite maker Epic Games' antitrust case against Apple benefited the crypto industry on Thursday when the iPhone maker loosened its restrictions on developers and their ability to offer apps in the US that direct users to non-standard purchasing methods or digital collectibles. Now, Apple updated its iOS App Store review guidelines after a U.S. district judge found that this week the tech titan willfully violated a court injunction issued in 2021. Moving forward, the federal court prohibited Apple from collecting fees on purchases made outside of its iOS apps, currently 27%, or limiting developers' ability to direct users to the third-party websites. Now, in an email obtained by Decrypt, Apple notified iOS developers that apps on the United States storefront are no longer prohibited from including buttons, external links, or other calls to action when allowing users to browse NFT collections owned by others. Now, the prohibition on encouraging users to use a purchasing method other than in-app purchases does not apply on the United States storefront, the email added. Now, although the loosened restrictions do not apply to in-app features such as buying premium content or in-game boosts, they may lead to a generational golden consumer crypto bull run. Wojciech Kulikowski, a software engineer at Farcaster, wrote on Decentralized Media Protocol. He said, "This will allow for more experimentation with crypto-native mobile apps that were previously often blocked from Apple's iOS Apple Store," he told Decrypt. Now, in practice, NFT marketplaces like OpenSea have limited functionality through their iOS apps. Users are able to browse a panoply of NFT collections, but they cannot purchase them through it. Now, some companies, include Magic Eden, have released digital wallets that allow users to make in-app purchases using a browser embedded in their application, and the feature mirrors self-custodial wallets offered by firms like MetaMask, Coinbase, and Uniswap. Now, Apple's iOS App Store review guidelines still include strict restrictions when it comes to cryptocurrencies. Crypto apps cannot offer currencies for completing tasks, facilitating initial coin offerings, also known as ICOs, or leverage users' devices to mine digital assets. Now, Google updated its Google Play Store policies in 2023, allowing NFTs to unlock in-app content regardless of where they were purchased. Apple's chief rival in the mobile space also required game developers to disclose whether the experiences were blockchain-based, similar to Epic Games' platform, and Apple did not immediately respond to a request for comment from Decrypt about this. So Google did a nice little update right there on I think they're actually using how NFTs should be used properly, being a token gate. So it's like they said, like Google said, like you can't gain access to the app unless they had that NFT that they already had that they purchased off site. So it is a token gate. So if they wanted to download the app or even gain access to an app that they say they got from the Google Play Store, they need to have that one specific NFT in their wallet to be able to verify. And then at that point, it's like, oh, that NFT is in his wallet. He can download this app or he can gain access to this app. It's simple as that. So yeah, so rules are going to be changing. I'm sure they're going to be more down the road with it. But as of right now, NFTs are kind of coming back to the Apple iOS store. Now let's move on to some more NFT news, talking about Mattel to wind down its Hot Wheels virtual garage NFTs. So the Hot Wheels collection. So users of Hot Wheels NFT collections and Mattel's digital collectibles marketplace will continue operating as usual through 2025 while the company evaluates what to do next. So toy-making giant Mattel is putting the brakes on its Hot Wheels virtual garage and its non-fungible tokens, pending a decision on the collection's future. Now, there will be no future releases of any new NFT series or features drops for the foreseeable future, Mattel said in an update on its website, and the company said that it will decide on the long-term future of Mattel digital collectibles. Now, your unwavering support and enthusiasm for the Hot Wheels virtual garage has been legendary, and we're incredibly grateful to have been on this journey with you, the company said. Now, as we reevaluate the changing world of virtual collectibles, we've determined the time has come to end our series and feature drops in 2025 and onward right now. Now, this is exactly what they said. You made it real. I think they said that. This is what they showed out to their release ends, community stays. But in the meantime, users of the Hot Wheels NFT collections, the Mattel Digital Collectibles Marketplace, the community Discord, and other channels will still continue to operate as normal through at least 2025, according to Mattel. Holders can still buy, sell, and trade their Hot Wheels NFTs on the Mattel Digital Collectibles Marketplace, while existing and outstanding redemptions will be fulfilled as promised. However, there is no option to transfer the NFTs to other wallets or marketplaces at the moment. Mattel says it's exploring possible options around this feature, and we are developing a long-term plan for virtual collectibles and we'll share updates with the community in the future, the company said. Now, that's not cool out there. Like, you want to be able to move your NFTs and tokens if you got them. So we'll see what Mattel's going to be doing. Are they going to create their own wallet to be able to hold on to it? But again, like, which blockchain do they use too? Because if they can't just move it off it, that just tells me they were probably using a smaller blockchain with cheap fees, like the Wax NFTs out there on the Wax blockchain. Those are dirt cheap. I forget which network they're on. They may be Ethereum or their own, but it would be a lot smaller, and then not too many wallets have the ability to hold them. So we'll see what Mattel has to do in the near future. But here is a tweet from Hot Wheels saying that the Hot Wheels NFT Garage Show and Mattel creation opened on January 7th, 2023. So this was just their ad showing like the commercial for it, like, oh, get your NFT digital collectible, Datsun 510 wagon collectible. So this is what they look like as the digital one. It would be cool if like it was actually linked to an actual Hot Wheels toy or the car itself. But that's what they were releasing. But Mattel launched the Series 1 for its Hot Wheels NFT Garage in November 2021 in partnerships with the Worldwide Asset Exchange, and the latest release, Series 10, went live in December of last year. Now, Nike sunsets its NFTs while FIFA doubles down. Mattel isn't the only company winding down its NFT services. Sporting footwear and appeal giant like Nike sunset its NFT marketplace RTFKT in January, and holders have since launched a lawsuit alleging that Nike has caused them financial harm by shuttering the marketplace. So Nike was already done with it, so now we're kind of seeing like what other marketplaces are doing too. But yeah, who was it? Nike is a no-go. Mattel is, we're hearing just now, is putting a pause on it by the end of 2025, and FIFA, though, is doubling down on it. So some collections and parties are still going through with it, but some are just leaving the market all in general. But the overall NFT market dropped sharply in the first quarter of 2025, with sales plunging 63% year over year to $1.5 billion in total sales from January to March, and that's down $4.1 billion during the same period in 2024. So again, NFTs have not been doing too hot right now. Again, we're still not even in an altcoin season yet. We're still waiting on that. We're getting like a longer Bitcoin bull run. Like, there's a little dip right now in Bitcoin's price and everything, but we still got to see how NFTs are going to play. Like, I personally didn't think NFTs were going to really go anywhere, not till we get the true use cases from it. It's like being token gating applications out there, but just being a collectible, like, and like you're expected to be seeing these huge gains from it, I think that is gone. But again, there are some crypto influencers out there that I hear that, or heard back then, who are like say like NFTs are still or underrated. They still could have a hot shot. So we still just gotta wait and see. Again, like we're still in the Bitcoin time. Next up will be altcoin season, and then during altcoin season, we can see if NFTs do take a role too. So just pay attention to that order. So right now we're seeing Bitcoin. Once you see the altcoins start going, then you can see how NFTs will actually react with the marketplace as well. So that's what some indicators you should be aware of, for just again, if you want to stick with NFTs or not. But that is all the news I have for you. Yeah, NFT news, Warren Buffett news, Apple switching their OS system, and Cardano with their partnership with the CCC. So not bad at all. Now let's take a look at our fear and greed index and see where we're at right now. We are currently at a 49 neutral, so we've gone down since last week. It was like at 55 since last Friday, but altcoin season kind of moving a little to the right. We're at 23 out of 100, so not bad right there. Bitcoin's currently at $94,151. Ethereum's at $1,800, with XRP sitting at $2.13. But that is the news I got for you. I hope you all enjoyed it. I will be back again tomorrow at noon, as long as I don't have any appointments or anything that may delay the show. But I hope everyone had a great weekend, has a fantastic week ahead, and I will see you all again tomorrow. And Crypto Surge, if you're still there, do you still speak on Divi? I do, if there's news around for it. And as of right now with Divi, their website is, they're making a whole new website that's ready to go. They're waiting on market conditions just to be set before they release it. They have a new marketing plan where like they have some crypto influencer out there that's on retainer right now. Like they talked about pricing in one of their Divi project update shows. It was like, do we pay him like this much for just a interview show? Do we pay him this much for a breakdown of the Divi project with side chains and everything? So they have that going for them. When it comes to the mobile wallet, that's still no news on that. That's down the pipeline. So the old Divi mobile wallet you can't use anymore. So what you want to do is recover those assets. If it's Divi, you want to recover it to the desktop wallet. If you had any other coins in that mobile wallet, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Litecoin, just take the seed phrase and recover it into a brand new Exodus wallet, and then all those assets other than Divi will appear there. So you're going to want to do that, but they will be rolling out a new mobile wallet. Just no more news about that. Sidechains project still going on. They got one new partner, and right now I think they want to head down to the Litecoin convention and try it again in front of Charlie Lee. So we'll see how that sidechains project turns out there. But that's all really the news I have about sidechains. It was with the Divi, it's like the ZX crypto exchange. They had a little hack, but they're kind of doing some recovery, so you might be able to get back in there, pull some of those coins there. But if you're still just holding on to Divi, I say, for me, I'm just still sticking on my desktop wallet because that's all I can do at the moment for it. And I probably won't move any around, not until I see them back on the platform change now, because that was the easiest way just to swap my coins out for basically anything I want. So until it gets there, which is just a slow process. I know Jeff McCabe was working on that deal with the old Divi Labs team and everything. So we just got to wait to see on that. But that's all the Divi news I have for you for Crypto Surge. But that's it, guys. Hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow at noon. Peace.
In a world where your data is constantly under attack, one company stands for your digital freedom. Introducing Calyx Solutions, your gateway to ultimate online privacy and secure cryptocurrency trading. Meet the Liberty Laptop. With its modified OS and advanced tracking prevention, it's your shield against surveillance. Access restricted areas, use recommended security software, and browse with confidence. Your digital footprint? Virtually non-existent. For the crypto pros, we present the Crypto Laptop. Pre-configured on premium hardware for secure trading. Optimized for your favorite wallets and exchanges, it's the fortress your digital assets deserve. Both laptops come with expert individual training and support. You're never alone in your journey to digital empowerment. At Calyx Solutions, we put you in control. No more worrying about data breaches or compromised transactions. Ready to join the revolution? Visit calyxsolutions.io and choose your perfect laptop today. Plus, become an affiliate and earn while sharing the power of digital freedom. Calyx Solutions. Unlock your digital freedom. Give us a call or text at 702-845-8276 or visit us directly at calyxsolutions.io.